Alright, starting on Michael's, the very first thing I want to do is score the panel lines on this piece to make it look like this piece here. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. You will if I do the magic zoom. Alright, now you can see the lines there. Okay? I need to take this piece and get it to match that. But before I do that, I started looking at these pieces that Michael sent me, and they're kind of rough cut. In other words, I bet you guys can see that, but I'm going to zoom it in a teeny bit more. Okay? Slowly zoom. There we go. First off, this edge is square, this edge is rounded. That's what I've been doing as I'm sitting down, I'm rounding over the edges to get them to look proper. Squared, rough cut on this guy, and you can see that, rounded and smooth on this guy. So, let me show you what I'm doing to accomplish this. Okay? I started by good old 400 grit wet dry sandpaper. And then I realized if I use that, I'm running a risk of doing two different things. One, destroying the contour here. These two need to be exactly identical with the same contour, and they are pretty much to start with. They're a little off because one I sanded and one I haven't. Okay? But they're pretty close. Close enough you wouldn't know if they were separated by this distance on the bottom of the ship, like this. You wouldn't know. Okay? And this can alter the shape if I sand in one spot for too long. So what I'm doing now is I got my sanding sticks, and I'm holding it at a constant angle and just running it back and forth, keeping that angle really constant so I get a good rounded over effect. And then when I'm done with that, I am lightly doing this to get rid of all the burrs and stuff. Actually, I'm going to start by lightly doing this to get rid of the burrs and stuff. Then I'm going to hit my sanding stick at a very constant angle to get that rounded over the way I want it. Like this. Okay? Just to let you guys know what I'm doing to fix this. And I'll be back when I go to scribe panel lines. I'm going to let you guys see the scribing process. I'm going to film that on one of these from beginning to end, so you can see what I do to scribe. Got the micrometer out, I'm ready. I'm going to be a little on the crazy uptight side on placing these panel lines. Okay, I'm going to measure them with the micrometer with this one, do some math, translate that over to a measurement on here, and I'm going to pencil them in, then I'm going to score them. And again, we're going to try it with the Tamiya tool. So I'll be back in a little bit. Don't have much progress to report on the A-wings. In fact, it's been bagged up because I was doing some work on the monitor for the computer up here and had to get everything off the desk. I will show you what I have done, though. Okay, let me get them out of the bag because I'm going to work on them a little bit more real quick. I keep all my parts I'm working on in Ziploc bags. That way I don't lose anything. I put them in a drawer so they're not getting destroyed or crushed. Okay, what we have here is one of the rear stabilizer engine cans. Okay, and it's done, and you can see I'm trying to tilt it back and forth so you guys can see the panel lines. I think, I'm pretty sure you can. What I'm doing right now is trying to replicate them on the bigger wings. Okay, those of you with really sharp eyes, you'll be able to tell I did some sanding on there by the way the light's reflecting, because what I had to do is round off these edges and square up these edges a little bit. These edges had to be squared up, and the leading and trailing edges had to be rounded. It took me about an hour last night to do all that, and this is a kit in the very, very rough stages. It needs a lot of cleanup like this. I'm going to sand the faces of them after I'm done scribing the panel lines, and I'm getting prepared to scribe the panel lines. Now let me discuss what I'm doing here in case someone ever decides to do this sort of kit. Okay, I know this little guy right here is 1/55th scale. Michael's A-wing is 1/28 point something scale. I'm seeing if I can find it, but I bet I can't. Nah, I can't find it in here. I've got it written down somewhere and I don't know where. It's 1/28.19 scale. Oh, there it is. 28.614 scale. A little off, but yeah, we know. What I'm doing is I'm taking my calipers. Okay? And I am measuring these lines. Like this. In fact, this one's set up for my next measurement somehow or another. Almost perfectly. Okay? Then I'm multiplying by 55 divided by 28.6 to get the measurement I need for this part. Then I'm setting this to that measurement and using this to lay out how my distance on my new part. I'm not going to get away with that when I start working with curved surfaces. These engine cans I can because I'm working this way with them. Okay? I'll be able to do it because I'm working on a horizontal distance. Any horizontal distances I'll be able to do that with. But the whole of the ship, as curved and rounded as that is, it might be a little bit more difficult to do that with, but I'm going to try. Because that way I get everything laid out precisely where they belong. Okay? Anyhow, let me get back to drawing these out. Oh yeah, my next best friend when I'm drawing these is a triangle. Because this is a 90-degree angle. Guaranteed to be a 90-degree angle. That way I get all my lines perpendicular. Alright? If you've never used one of these, get one, practice a little bit. You'll pick it up pretty quick. It's pretty easy to get perpendicular lines with this. Just remember to leave a spot, some width for your pencil lead, because your pencil lead is not, you're not considering it when you draw your lines. Anyhow, I went into that in enough detail. Let me get back to this. I've got 1, 2, 3 more lines to lay out and I can start scribing. So I'll be back when I start scribing again. I'm going to do the scribing in real time so you guys can see what I'm doing when I scribe my lines. Plus, I got some new tools to try out scribing on, so I'm going to get this piece of scratch. I'm going to go through 2 or 3 different techniques for scribing them and see how that works on a piece of scratch plastic. So, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of panel line scribing on this one. Back when I'm ready for that, I want to show you why you should be really careful with the measurements. Take a look at those lines. Okay? Those are spot on accurate. Let's check the other side, because I need them accurate on both sides. And look at that. They're so close that you're not going to notice it from side to side of the ship. Okay? Now top to bottom, let's do it this way. Let's make a little paddle out of this thing. What do you guys think? Think I'm getting my measurements right? This is why I'm being very, very precise and careful with the measurements so this thing looks just right. Okay? Now let's put it with one of the engine cans. And I'm going to twist a little bit in the light. There we go. I think, yeah, you can see it. And you can see the proportions line up just right on that. So I'm good to go for scribing on the big vertical stabilizers. And now I got to take care of the lower stabilizers. There's only 2 lines on that one, so that one will go quicker. I got them both laying here right here. I got my caliper, I got my T-square, my 45-45 triangle, and I got a ruler. So I'm going to get those drawn out. Back in a bit.